So at the end of the last video, we got to this stage where when I click my mouse button, it spawns a red sphere directly in front of me, which is good up to a point, but it's not really the game that I was looking to make. So what I wanted to do now is to spawn the red sphere in front of me, and then the red sphere disappears, heads off over in that direction over there. So I'm going to do that in scripting. This is slightly more complicated, so we're going to have to do a bit of thinking here. So I spawned a thing, one of those red spheres, because that's what I dragged onto it down here, the red sphere. Let's stop it from playing. Better, right? And you know, it's in that position. Now what I need to do is I need to get hold of its rigid body, which is its physics, and apply a force to its rigid body. So I've already done this a little bit, and I'm just going to paste a line which isn't correct, but it's going to give me the right format here. I always struggle with how the brackets work in all of this. So what have I got? I've got get component rigid body from the thing, and I've got this is from newborn. Now the thing is, when I instantiate a thing, I can't easily refer to it with just instantiate, it just exists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say new ball equals this thing, and because I'm using this I need to say what it is, and what I prefer to do is I write up here private new, it's a game object, isn't it? Yeah, private game object new ball. Private just means that it's not going to appear in this area here. It's not available to anyone else in the game. It's just used inside this function. Now this RB, this is actually a reference to the rigid body. I'm actually going to change its name here. I'm going to call it my rigid body, and I'm going to call it here private rigid body my rigid body. So this has been quite a convoluted way of just getting a reference to the physics of this new thing that we instantiated. So we now know what it is. Each time when we click the fire button we get a new ball, which we can then refer to, and we've now got its rigid body. And what we're going to do is my rigid body dot add force, and the force I'm going to add is going to be I'm just going to give it the same transform as before, the forwards, because I want it to go in that direction, because we want it to be away from us. Transform dot forward. Now I do have a feeling that is not enough. That's 1 unit of whatever that is. And I think I did this before, and one was insufficient, so I'm going to multiply that by 100. Just a bit of a guess, and save that back to Unity. The usual Unity little pause for thought. This is where we just think to ourselves, am I doing the right thing? Right, so play. And again, Unity pause for thought. Land on the ground, click. Yeah, I think 100 is not enough, but it's definitely doing the right thing. So I'm shooting the ball away from me. Let's go back into Unity and into the script. Let's make 1,000 things, units, doohickeys. Save, back to Unity. Pause. Play. Just waiting, just waiting. There we go. Pew. Yeah, pew, pew. There's a game here, isn't there? I could do a whole bowls game, or I can just use those to try and knock people over. It'd be cool if you had a multiplayer and you could just like shoot these at each other or something. Anyway, so that's pretty much as far as I wanted to go for now. I will point out a couple of one other little detail. We did this if input.get button down. If you look up in the Unity documentation how this input works, it's not just get button down. Get button down triggers once when you click the button, so it's when the button goes down. But if we just do get button, what that does is it triggers whenever the button is held down. So if I have a look at this, and I did this earlier, it's kind of funny. Ready, play, yep. So because that's in update and it's when the button is down, it's going to do the whole 60 times a second thing. So we're getting 60 balls every second shooting out, which is kind of fun. And do they shoot up in the air, or do they always just go forward? They do shoot up in the air, or do they? I don't know, whatever. Alright, so that's just one little extra detail for fun. Hope that's helpful. So once you've done that, once you've got the ball that shoots out in front of you, try and make a game. Bowls game, other game, use your imagination.